Hey everyone, this video might not be as perfect as I like it to be, but I hope you enjoy the content, the information that I'm going to be sharing with you guys. What I want to do is a February forecast of everything that I found and see how it all relates with the tarot cards, with the astrology for the houses, and even the Chinese New Year. So I took some notes here. We're going to talk about it. We're going to vibe about it. And let's get into it. So let's start off with the Chinese New Year. Okay, so we're moving from the red or the fire rooster, and we are moving into the year of the dog, and it's going to be the earth dog. Okay, and the last time it was an earth dog was 1958, I believe. So if you were born like February 18th, 1958 to February 7th, 1959, then you are an earth dog, okay? Now, for this year, 2018, February 16th, Friday, to February 4th of next year, 2019, anyone born in between those times is an earth dog, okay? And what are earth dogs like, okay? They're talented and they are persuasive people. They are very effective in their work. They're very efficient, and they are very proactive workers. So they don't need to be stimulated to do things. They're self-starters, self-motivators, okay? They excel at whatever they choose to do that they really like to do. All right? And when you think of dogs, and I looked up dogs, and on here we do like the spirit animal cards and stuff like that. And when you think of your spirit animal or what animals are like, you want to think, okay, what are dogs like? Dogs are very protective, right? They can be used as guides. They guide you when you need them. They're very alert. They're brave. They're devoted. They're fun. They love to have fun. And they're aware. They have awareness, so they use their intuition. That intuition is you knowing to do something without consciously reasoning it out. You just know instinctively, okay, I got to do this. And dogs are really good at using their instincts, right? So it's trusting your instincts. So you think of this new year starting out February 16th to next year, February 4th, right? Yeah, of 2019. What do you need to do? These are like ideas to see if you can implement them into your life to make your year a little bit better. And who doesn't want to do things that's going to make their year better, right? So you can look at it and see if it matches up for you, okay? And we'll get into more with the dog later on. So we'll kind of mesh it up. I'll mention it again where I see that it actually connects, okay? So this year, people are not going to care about being liked by many people, right? We all like to communicate, to be liked by people. Sometimes people are not going to like you. Maybe you're not on the same level as that person. Maybe that person's on a lower mental level than you. You're on a higher one. And sometimes you guys will line up because you needed to hear that information from that person. But you're not going to be best friends or whatever. You're just going to meet this person or know this person to learn a lesson. We all know this, whether we're into tarot numerology or not. There are people that don't even believe in tarot numerology. I don't know why they'll be watching my channel or other people's channel, proving that they're just wasting their time. But if you like tarot and astrology and cards, you'll see how things line up. Okay, and I've always said this. I always like to see how things connect. So there's a lot of things to talk about. So let's look at 11 as in numerology. And you look at the year 2018. When you add it all up, you get 11. So let's look at the 11th house. Jupiter and Saturn, right? So let's look at this. The 11th house is all about communications, right? When you're setting your goal, you want to live your dreams. So this year, every year, everyone wants to live their dream, right? But this year, the need to focus on it is very important. And if you don't, you're going to see more of failures and more of imbalance in your life, okay, with this 11 year, if we're focusing on numerology for the number 11, right? So trust your intuition more. And funny enough, we're lining up with the year of the dog, okay? Use your imagination. So being very creative to get your message across, your communication. All right. So there'll be more communicating going on this year, whether it's good or bad. Okay. So the challenges for this year is illusions. So letting stuff go. If you feel like, or you know, rather than feel, you know, or both, you know that something is an illusion, the way you've been thinking all your life, or something that you hear, whatever it is, it's an illusion, and you'll recognize it more. Loneliness. If you're doing something that makes you feel lonely, you're going to want to stop doing that, because you realize that it's not really working for you. Okay, so these are the challenges: illusions, loneliness, any kind of misleading information or anything that misleads you. You're going to realize it, and realize where you've been misled, and you're going to think of ways that you can remove this. And anything that doesn't work for you anymore, you're going to have to just let it go. Now, when it comes to fears this year, you don't want to feel limited this year. Like, think of dogs. They don't like to be limited. No one likes to be limited, right? And a lot of the things that will be said could be for any year, but it's in the context of this year, this 11th year, right? So the master number 11. So now let's look at 18 in the year 2018. And we're looking at the moon card. The moon card is the 18th card in the deck. So the moon card has to do with intuition, matching up again with the earth dog and dogs in general. Dreams is what the moon card has to deal with, the unconscious mind. Okay, so what I wrote down here from just research, and anyone can look this up and see it. The moon gives us light as it reflects off the sun. The light from the moon is dim. From that dim light, what we see is uncertain, right? So it is a vague light, right, that lights our path. And we can look at this as not having all of the answers on our journey, right? So we can look at that dim light as not having all the light that we need, or all the answers that we need on our life path, okay, everyday life. And in this journey in our life, we should be enjoying it. We should be moving forward towards a higher sense of understanding, a higher self-consciousness, right? So that's another way of looking at 2018, looking at the number 18. What does the number 18 mean as far as tarot? Okay. So I won't even take it to the number 9 by adding both of them, but you can definitely do that for endings and beginnings if you want. But that's just going on a little bit deeper. So now let's look at the 11th house. The 11th house deals with bringing allies, okay, friendships. It's known as the house of friendships, social groups, organization, clubs, teams, networking, professional associations. So look for opportunities that will bring you that, but you can't just look for it. You have to work hard towards it and have your idea towards it, and not allowing anyone's comments or anyone's feelings to block what you have to do, right? Not everyone's going to like your idea, good or bad. Not everyone's going to like it. The 11th house deals with hopes and dreams. It deals with our destiny, okay? So what we want to achieve, what is our desire. So we're focused on that. And this year, if we don't do what we feel like we really want to do, and make sure that it's something that is of you and not something that someone's making you do, or that you feel that you're forced to do. This is your own mind, you know? So when you think of Saturn, you think of, because we're dealing with the 11th house, Saturn, ruler of Capricorn. Capricorn, the Saturn energy is about restrictions and limitations, right? So this is not going to be appreciated in this year. Jupiter, the ruler of Sagittarius. Jupiter is known as the planet of plenty, tolerance, and expansion. Expansion meaning covering a wide area. So we want to get our message out there. We want to get ourselves out there. What's our dreams? What's our desire, right? And tolerance also is understanding that not everyone's going to get along. Not everyone is going to agree on things, and so what? So you have teamwork, but you also have the individual. So a great team will understand that everyone is different and everyone needs their alone time or their own time to do their own thing, and then they can come together as a team and handle business that they need to handle, so that they have this place where they can be themselves, right? Jupiter seeks insight through knowledge, right? So really being informed is a really powerful thing. When you're informed, you can make better decisions for yourself. You'll be less likely to be tricked about anything, right? So that's one of the messages for Jupiter. Okay, so now let's look at February numerology. So February is 13 for the universal month for the number. So what we're doing here is February is the second month in the calendar year. Okay. So you have February, you have 2, right? And then the year 2018. So 2 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 8 equals 13. So, and I'm doing this because I'm just breaking it down, because when I watch other videos, I'm like, okay, what? And then I have to like Google it. So I'm like, okay, let me make a video that just breaks it down. So I hope you enjoy it. And if you don't have to watch, right? So the current month plus the year equals the universal month, okay? And please leave comments and add and share, okay? So we have 13 lunar cycles, but we have 12 months. Okay, most of us know this if we find astrology and all of this fun. So we have 12 months in the year, and we have 13 lunar cycles in the 12 months of the year. So 13 breaks down to 4 in numerology. Okay, and the 4th card in tarot is the Emperor. Okay, you guys following that? So let's look at the number 4, and let's look at, well, we can look at the number 4. Okay, I didn't bring that up, but why don't we look at number 4, okay, and see. So 4 is a masculine energy, just like the Emperor is a masculine energy, okay. 4 focus on reflecting strength and stability, like the 4 walls. So you think of the 4 seasons, right? And then the 5th element would be like God or creator, okay. So focusing on 4, we are dependable, productive, punctual, obedient, trustworthy, traditionalist, patient, conventional, right? And it sometimes can be not much of a, it could be a bit boring. It could be not a social person, right? So it has those kind of contradictions in it. But the Emperor card is the 4th card in the tarot. So let's go back to that. The Emperor is all about authority, power, a father figure, structure, solid foundation, masculine principles, So look out this year for masculine principles, right? I'm going to close the door. Excusez-moi. Okay. So masculine principles. So the Emperor likes to see everything. It likes to broaden its reach, its terrain, okay? It has that Mars energy with it, right? And it's about absolute ruler of the world, that type of energy. And who is in control, who is influenced with Mars? It's Aries and Scorpio. So if you are a born Scorpio or born Aries, this year can also work for you as well, okay? And you'll notice a lot of the BS and being focused enough to be positive and keep the energy up and keep going. So there's always a negative and a positive, right? And keeping that energy up. So, of course, Mars, Aries is the 1st house, and Scorpio is the 8th house, okay? And they're both ruled by Mars. Now, let's look at 11. The number 11, it's all about pushing the limits, okay? Also pushing the limits in human experiences. And it is very much on perceptions. So how are you perceiving a message, right? How are you perceiving a message? The way that you perceive a message will make you think about it being a good, something that's good or something that's bad. It all depends on how you perceive it, right? And usually if it's something that's going to really harm someone in a huge way or a big kind of hurt, in the end, it's going to come back around to you. Whether you believe in karma or not, is just the way that things work. If there's a selfish type of energy manifesting or growing, it's going to come back around and get you. Okay, even if you supported it and you think, oh, it's going to be great, right? It's going to come back and bite you in the butt, right? So let's go back to that 13 lunar cycle of the moons, knowing that we have 12 months, but there's 13 lunar cycles. Now for January, we had 2 full moons, and always in a month when there are 2 full moons, the second full moon is considered the blue moon. So it was like at the end of at the end of last month, and I'm trying to remember what date it was, because it was the super blue blood moon. So at some point the moon is blue, and then you can see the red from it, from the position of the moon, the sun, and the earth, right? So we know this. So we all experienced that at the end of January. And I'm trying to click over to last month. We all know what it was. It's just trying to remember. So it was January 31st. Yeah, Wednesday. The last day in January was the full moon in Leo. And it was also those 3 major celestial events. So we had that in January. So now in February, we have no full moon. We have 1 new moon. And that new moon is going to be the new moon in Aquarius, which I'll do a video for that next. That's going to be on Thursday, February 15th, the new moon in Aquarius. And depends on where you are for the time. And, you know, you'd have to check that for your area for when it's at its peak. Okay. So we have that. Okay. And no full moon at all in February. All right. So that's just something to know. And this is not something unnormal. This happens whenever the month preceding has 2 full moons. Okay. So let's go back to number 11, and let's break that down to the number 2. So number 11, if we break it down to the number 2, 2 is a very yin energy, right? So yin energy, relax, right? But it's all about working together. So it's about ending separations and working towards the greater good for humanity, for everyone. So even though 11 brings its own chaos in the sense of people doing what they want to do, right? When they want to do it, it's going to have all these opposites, right? The number 11 has the opposite of good and bad, ignorance and enlightenment, mortal and immortal, man and spirit, dark and light. Okay, so it has all of these elements in it, but when you look at 2 to counteract that, you have a yin energy, an energy that after all of that conversation, whether it be chaotic, it could turn out to having something that works to better people. Like out of bad comes good, right? And sometimes out of something that sounds good comes bad. So it all depends on your perception and why you're doing it, what's behind it. So when it comes to doing what you want to do this year, are you doing it because it's what you were told to do, taught to do, or are you listening to your soul, your spirit, and walking your path of what you really want to do? Okay, so 11 in numerology and the 11th house both deal with communication, goals, and your perception of things. So looking at all of this, I sat down and I said, okay, the 11th in numerology and the 11th house all have to do with communication, goals, and your perception. So ask yourself, how are you communicating? And what is the communication that you're listening to? Why are you listening to it? You know, what can you change about yourself and your environment so that you can find some kind of balance in what you're thinking, what you believe, and what your communication is? What's your goal? Why do you have that goal? Is it your goal? Is it a group think goal? Is it what everyone is telling you that's your goal? What's your perception? Why do you perceive things to be that way? All right, does it make you feel good? Does it make you feel bad? You know, all of that. Ask yourself, what does your soul want, right? And this is what I jot down. And then if what you're doing is based on others' thinking, which pretty much is what I just said, that has nothing to do with your own soul searching, then it's what you've been told. So what you've been told doesn't equal up to what it is that you want, right? So hearing everything and, you know, looking at your own chart, knowing your own chart. Did you do your chart? Do you know what your own zodiac chart is? Looking at this year and from everything that I've looked at, what I feel is that based on your fire, earth, your element, fire, earth, air, and water, right? How can you adjust yourself, your thinking, and have it apply to this dog year? Okay, the energy of this year with the numerology, with the astrology. How can you tailor that to think based on the number 11? How does that fit into your life? The number 2, the Emperor card, the Moon card, how does that relate to you and your chart? So feel free to leave some comments, and if this video helped you, let me know. I hope it has, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you like this, and have a happy February. And next I'll be making the video on the solar eclipse that's happening on the 15th. Yes, the 15th, the new moon in Aquarius. So thank you guys for watching Lily Sky Tarot. Have a great Wednesday, rest of the day, rest of the week, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.